Hello, everybody, and welcome to Whiskey Daddy Review number 14. And today we're going to be talking about a very special bourbon, the Booker's Bourbon. This is part of the Jim Beam Distillery, Beam Suntory again, just like the Hibiki 17 that we looked at last week. That's the company that owns the Jim Beam brand now. And this is the bourbon we're going to be looking at today. Now, this is one of the older bottlings of Booker's. They used to come in these little white boxes here. And the newer ones you can see on the shelf now come in these darker boxes like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about this brand and kind of how to decipher the label on it. This one that we're looking at today, I'll just turn this sideways. This is and I hope you can see it there, it's the 2014-6. Now this is labeled as being one of the round table batches. Did some research into that. It's hard to figure out exactly which ones are round table. I know this one is for sure. The 2013-6 appears to be the first round table batch. I have another one here. Let's see if I can find it. Pull out this one. This one has a weird decipher on it. It is C07B7. And supposedly this is from 2014-4. So this is two batches before this one. It's kind of confusing when you start looking at it online. You get a lot of varying opinions on this. Either way, round table, not round table, this is always good quality bourbon. So we're just going to concentrate on this one, the 2014-6 today. All right. Part of the reason why I like this particular bourbon is because it's very straightforward. It's not overly complex. It doesn't have a ton of different flavors in there. It's just very, very intense, and it's like the blue collar bourbon of bourbons. Bottled at cask strength, unfiltered, straight from the barrel. Booker No, which is the name, obviously, that it carries here. He was a master distiller at Jim Beam for a long time. The great-grandson, I believe, of Jim Beam himself. His son, Fred No, of course, has taken over now. Booker died in 2004. But around about, I think, 1988, he started bottling some of these straight from the barrels for friends and family. And I believe in the early 90s, they actually started bottling it for the public. And it started really the wave of the high-end bourbon connoisseurage that we see these days. It all started with Booker's Bourbon. It's still fairly affordable. The price has gone up a little bit in the past few years. It's about $60 to $65 a bottle here in the state of South Carolina. It used to go for just under $50 and then in the mid-50s for a while, and now it's up over $60. But still worth it. And you get a lot of bang for your buck. This particular one is bottled at 127.7 proof, so it's a big one. Small batch, so you get just a few barrels are going into this. And according to the sources I found, there was a panel of whiskey experts that helped to actually locate these barrels and batch them together for bottling. Most of them, as I explained with the Knob Creek review, come from that warehouse D. And they generally come from the center racks. This one that I showed you earlier here, this one from 2015, this is the center cut. So this came from all center racks right there. And, of course, the newer ones like the 2015 and newer, they all have names associated with them like Big Man or Center Cut or Mama's Glasses and stuff like that. So let's get into it. On the nose, the biggest thing, the thing that is most predominant is the equal amounts of brown sugar, leather, and oak. Like I said, very straightforward. Get a little bit of cinnamon on there. A little bit of that dark cherry characteristic, but just a hint of that. Mainly big on the brown sugar, big on the leather, big on the oak. And just wafts of it. It's so strong, it's so rich. Let's take a taste. Absolutely delicious. The arrival is like maple syrup, and then you get this huge wave of cinnamon, oak spices, not overly tannic, that just burst in through the development and just carry on to a very, very long, warming finish. I have put my little eyedropper here, about a full eyedropper full of water into this bourbon just to calm it down a little bit. I recommend trying it neat at least one time, though, to kind of get the experience of that. But for drinking it, going through a couple of glasses of it, it will numb your tongue. It will anesthetize your tongue to the point of where you won't be able to taste a whole lot. So I like to put a little bit of water on this one just to calm it down and bring out some of those flavors. And you saw earlier I had my little lid on there too. It helps trap that beautiful bourbon aroma. But really that's all to it. It's a straightforward bourbon. It's delicious. And for the price point you're paying for this, you're getting a lot for your money. Unchill filtered, cast strength, you can't beat it. All right, so that's Booker's coming at you next time here on Whiskey Daddy. I think we're going to be going back over to Scotland, and we're going to be taking a look at a Balvenie, the Balvenie 15-year-old single cast. Until then, I'm the Whiskey Daddy. Cheers, y'all.